All right, good afternoon, everyone. Gary B, the casual comic guy here. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing Chet Rinaudo from Rhino's Comics and Collectibles.
Hey
Good
guys,
afternoon,
how are you?
Chet.
Good afternoon, Gary. What do you call your minions?
I don't have a name for
You don't
them
have
yet.
that? Okay,
No, nothing yet.
Maybe we'll figure something
Have
out
to
today.
come up with something.
Fantastic.
So, Chet, great small business here. Where did you come up with the name Rhino's Comics and Collectibles?
Last name is Ronaldo, so we kind of had a play in the last name. My son was in preschool with a kid. His last name was Pignato, and so my son would call him Pig, and he would call my son Rhino. So it kind of stuck, and we kind of played with it as the kids were little. And now they're teenagers, so
Nice, and I see you're rocking your new
yeah,
shirts today,
yeah,
huh?
venomized black Rhino shirt.
Very nice.
So
Those look
venomized.
sharp,
Yeah, they're nice.
just in
They're
time for the
warm. Yeah.
holidays. So my second question here is, comics have really seen a resurgence in the past year, especially during quarantine. Do you think boredom, isolation, and a need for escapism played a role in this resurgence, or is it due to the quality of the storytelling, the artists, just the sheer variety of books we have right now, or you think it's a little bit of both?
Yeah, I think it's both. There's just so much. People are always speculating to begin with, and now with lack of delays on certain issues, it makes uh, rarity an issue because people are like, "Am I going to get that book?" So they get all nervous and flustered, and they can't ascertain that book right away. So they freak. So then they're going to go on eBay, they're going to go on Facebook, they're going to go buy it where they can for whatever it is because they don't care. So
Right.
it drives the market. And then as far as like people not the second part of that question with the 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 COVID concern, yeah, because of the I lost my train of
Oh,
thought.
people stuck at home,
Yeah,
bored.
people
Yep.
stuck at home, and that not only that, but people are because they're bored out of their minds. I run out of supplies weekly. I don't even have any. There's hardly any bags left around in the city right now. So people are organizing, making up their lists, going on that CLZ app. Everybody's using all their tools for the first time ever at the same time because people are really getting organized. People are learning that there is a way to make a little bit of money at the same time, build their collection, and sell the stuff that they don't like but somebody else likes, and accumulate what they like with that money that they spend on. It's definitely a fluid situation. So
Right, and the best way to get your comics is through previews and pre-order them.
yeah,
That way, they're guaranteed a copy.
the pole box is nice. I don't know if your local stores where you guys live in have a pole box, but if they do, it's so much easier as a proprietor for my ordering because if Gary wants something and I didn't bring it in, but if he put it on his list, he's getting it. Nobody else is getting it. Then I hear that. Well, how come he got one? How come I didn't see it? I'm a one man show here. It's hard to see everything for everybody. So the beauty of Pullbox is
Snapshot
you
picture.
as a customer see that. So if you want that Conan that no one else sees or that cover nobody else sees and you grab it, then it's yours. I can't, it's hard to have a million eyes everywhere. So that's the beauty of Pullbox. It just really helps with my ordering and allowing you guys to get what you really want and need.
Excellent. So Rhinos has been around a little over 5 years now and has really established itself as the go-to comic store here locally. Now, as a customer, I've seen this store grow and expand its customer base greatly in that time. But what sticks out to me is there's a real sense of family, community, and integrity that I think drive that growth. What do you consider the pillars of success that have helped establish you and Rhinos in the Rochester community?
I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings out there, but I'm going to just say it like it is. It's a matter of taking care of that little kid that walks in the door that goes and grabs a comic book for the first time, and he picks it up and he's not getting hollered at by the mean guy behind the counter. My whole thing is this: if that kid's coming in your store with mom and dad, and if he takes that comic, and he crinkles it up, does it really, really, in the grand scheme of things, you're going to scream at the kid and lose the mom and dad and the kid? Or are you going to say, hey, dude, you just bought, that's your book. Hope you enjoy it, and just roll with it. And the parents like the fact that you're not being a prick to their kid. I don't know if I could swear or anything. Is
It's
that swearing?
okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Not be a prick to their
Be
kid.
yourself.
It's a big deal. Uh, and just being open and saying, okay, don't worry about it. I'm not gonna charge you on that. It's a $3 book. I can live without $3. And now that kid might eventually turn into a potential customer, even if he's 5 or 6 years old, but he'll remember that day because it's the first day he touched a comic. Because I remember the day I first touched a comic and got screamed at by the old Jewish guy at the corner drugstore, but it didn't sway me from not buying my comics. But the whole thing was, now I get back to the parents, and they are potentially huge money for me because you were nice to their kid. There's no toy stores around anymore, and I got a ton of toys. And I have comics which parents might like. And you know what? Sometimes mom might see something she likes and she starts reading it. Now she's hooked. Dad might like, oh, look at this Wolverine. I haven't touched it since '86. Now all of a sudden he's hooked. So there's a lot of benefits by not being the prick to the kid.
And the baby boomers have really come back in droves to start supporting the comic community.
Yeah, because I get a lot of that, those
all that nostalgia.
Those X-Men, when Jim Lee was doing the X-Men, and you get all those guys, and the McFarlane, the early Image stuff, all those kids that were kids are now mid-30s approaching 40, looking to rekindle that flame that they had 25 years ago.
So our next question is, we know you sell comics, Marvel, DC, and a huge variety of independents. But what I want to ask you about is the collectibles part of the name. Can you tell me and my viewers about the many different collectibles showcased here at Rhino's?
Mostly just the thing was the pops. My son goes, when I first opened, my kids were 10, 12 years old, and they were like, you should bring these things in, these pop characters. And I was just like, I'm looking at them going, I'm a comic book guy, this is stupid. Well, that stupidity turned into like probably selling on average probably like 40 to 50 of them a week. And the best thing about them is they represent well, as far as the pops go. Grandma comes in and says, oh, my son likes that. And her son is, 46. But her son does like that. And it's relevant because, like, if you get just any like adult character out there, like something from The Office, like Florida Stanley, and you have Florida Stanley on your desk at work, it's kind of cool. Yeah. No matter how conservative you work at or how liberal you work at, that's a pretty cool item to have on your desk. So, it represents some sway, I believe.
And they're part of the new water cooler talk.
Yeah, pretty much. They're everywhere. I have an ad on can I mention that or no?
Yeah, you can mention your ad.
Warm 101.3, they do all the Christmas music, and my ad mentions the pops and comics and toys. Marvel Gallery, really nice price point, or you're getting that $50 range is a nice price point. I bring in some side show collectibles, but they're so damn expensive. I can't. That's me speculating on buying something for people. So I don't really buy those $200, $400 items. I like to be myself under $100. I believe it sells better at the street level. I got some older stuff like these corgis. They're pretty cool. You don't see this stuff in corners in comic book stores. But the Legends, Marvel, and DC Gallery figures are very cool. Price point is correct. Pops, the large pops of course are great. I mean, this thing here must weigh like 18 pounds. It's huge, the thing. It's fantastic. But this is a Marvel Select, and the detail's amazing. Looks fantastic.
Plus, you had different genre stuff like Godzilla,
right.
Some of the old classic
Star
horror
Wars, ones, Power Rangers. Superman. We got DC, Marvel. Some of the Spawn characters, I used to have a lot of them, but those are gone because McFarlane did a nice line. I'm not too crazy about the new McFarlane stuff. The DC, it's kind of bland for me, but it's cool for some people.
And the cool hot thing, the Mandalorian, you're getting more and more in.
The Child and the Mandalorian, the Batman Who Laughs, the DC multiverse are nice. People like this line. It's pretty decent. But there's a lot of stuff, and then I try to bring in some of the older stuff, like if a collection comes in. When I first opened my doors, Lord of the Rings was one of the only toys that I had in my store, and I had a whole area this big full of Lord of the Ring figures. I think I got 5 years later. I think I got like 5 of them left, and they just little by little they trickle out the door and they're gone. Rick and Morty figures always hot. What else? I mean, there's anything Marvel movie-esque whatever comes out Marvel. The DC figure, I'm sorry, Disney Plus figures are going to start to go when they start to come out, like Falcon. I'm thinking of Falcon and Snowman.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon, Winter Soldier, Vision, Wanda. Those are all going to be. If they make characters for them, they're going to be popular. You know, that's the one thing about Marvel. Marvel always coincides the release of something big with a toy line, and DC doesn't do that. That's I think a big disconnect for them.
Nice. So we got our next question here. You also provide grading and pressing services here at the store, as well as constantly rotating in fresh slab books for sale. Can you elaborate on these services a bit more?
One of my customers' name is Mike. He's a presser locally. So every Tuesday, I give him a nice stack of books to press for customers. Like if Gary gives me a book, I'll mark it off and I'll make sure it's tagged correctly before I give it to him, so nothing gets confused. But for what I do is I give him a stack of books on Tuesday. He comes back with a stack of books on Tuesday for me from the previous week, and those books are either earmarked to go to CGC, CBCS, or back to the customer. Depends on, you know, we give it an overall grade. Some people don't want it if it's under an 8, so they get it back. But it's pressed and cleaned, and it looks nice at least. But the service I offer is a pressing for $12, and then modern books to CGC are usually $26, unless you want special things done to it. But that's it. Like a Silver Age book would cost you $35. But the cost I'm giving you is everything. It's me handling it, it's me sending it, me receiving it back, and me giving it back to you. So you don't have to go to the post office. You don't have to worry about it coming back. I do all the worrying for you because look at the gray hairs now. So they all drive me nuts looking for their books. So.
All right. So now this next question is kind of a 5-parter. So we're going to get back to comics. So let's talk about personal taste. Let the audience get to know you a little bit. What are your top 3 heroes?
Myself, probably like. I love the Thing, but he doesn't have like a solo thing. Probably would be like Daredevil, Hulk, and the third one's kind of like a dangling participle. I don't know. Maybe Conan. Just good stuff. Probably Daredevil, Hulk, 1 and 2 for sure for me.
All right, excellent. And what is your favorite age of comics? Because you've been collecting for a while.
I think anybody would say the same thing. Wherever they started. My first book I ever bought was Marvel Team Up 19, was Kazar and Spider-Man. I still see it on the rack that day. And it struck me as like going, wow. And that that whole era of 74, 75, I just always go back to that, trying to, I have everything from that era, but I always just go back to those books and go, wow, I wish I was still 11 years old.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, so that was my era as well.
I mean, that's why the baby, like you were saying, those guys coming back for that were into the X-Men and McFarlane stuff. They're trying to recapture that youth. That's the big thing with it all. So
what are your top 3 grails in your personal collection?
I have an Astonishing Tales 13 First Groot. I have the 181. The First Groot is graded 5.5, so that's a nice book. I have the Hulk 181, which was purchased by me as a child. That's an 8.0, so I'm pretty happy with that. I took care of my books as a child. And I have a Daredevil 1. Those are probably my 3 favorite books. Ooh. So, and that Daredevil 1 is probably like a 2.5 or a 3.0. I can't remember. Excuse me.
Okay, so talking about today's comics, what is the top title to read on the market right now, in your opinion, if you had to narrow one down to recommend to anyone?
I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan, but probably, I read Venom because it's fun, and I love reading Venom. It's just a fun book to read. Donny Cates is knocking it out. Anything that Cates does is just fun. Daredevil has been amazing. If you're reading the Zdarsky run, it's freaking amazing. Hulk, I mean, Marvel's got some great writers right now between Cates, Ewing, Zdarsky, and Jason Aaron, of course. When he did that Conan run, that was freaking amazing.
Even Jib Zub's doing great.
Zub's doing it. I haven't started that yet, but I want to get a little bit more of it, because I freak out when I can't read more, because I have so many things going on in the store. I can't remember these stories sometimes if I read just one issue at a time. It's just too much. So I like to get like 6 or 7 together, then I'll read the storyline. But the Daredevil, because it's kind of like my favorite hero to begin with, the Zdarsky run has just been fun. It's just fun. It's fun. It's great. It's Daredevil being Daredevil. You know, he's always had girls, and he's always had, you know, he loves, you know,
He's got his
showing
personal
wares.
demons.
Yeah, he's got his personal demons, and it's the religious part with Daredevil too. Being a Catholic, that's, you know, always having that doubt as a Catholic. I mean, that's what we do as Catholics. We always doubt everything we see. So.
And this runs the closest thing to the TV show that was on
Oh, by
Netflix,
far.
right?
Especially when Fisk was in it. Oh, it was so great.
So we're going to wrap this up with a question, and what is something you would like the audience to know about rhinos that they might not know?
Just like I tell everybody, just make me an offer. If you see something on the wall with a $20 price tag and you got $17 in your pocket, I'm probably going to make it work somehow. So don't be scared. You know, don't be scared to ever approach people, because it's your money. You earned it. You know, I mean, I just want it. I want your money that you earned. You know, so we'll make it work. You know, I mean, I'm not going to be shy about it. I'm here to make money. But sometimes I'll take that little bit of a loss just to build a relationship with somebody. So that's really it. So.
Nice. And you do have an eBay store, right?
Yeah, I do eBay. It's just under Rhinos Comics. I do weekly auctions, just stuff that I really can't, like, see, I can't sell like older DC books in this store. In Rochester is not a big DC market. It is for the newer books, but for the older books, you just don't see people looking for World's Finest, Justice League, and Superman. Those I put on eBay, and I do well with them, so that's where I put a lot of my DC stuff. But if I got some nice Silver Age Marvels, they come in here because they're going to be gone within a week. They're gone. So that's it in a nutshell. Yeah, eBay. That's it. And Facebook. I don't do any selling on Facebook, but we have the Facebook page, Rhinos Comics, as well. And pretty much I try to stay as close as I can with everything with Rhinos Comics. It just makes life easier. So
nice.
Yep.
All right. Well, Chet, I want to personally thank you for taking the time to sit down and interview with me today.
No problem, buddy.
I have a audience that's hungry for this kind of content.
Okay.
They want to learn about other comic shops. They want to see what's in them.
Yeah.
The answers you gave were great. But before we sign off, do you know what my sign off is?
No, I don't. I don't. You know, I don't. Honestly, I just don't have time to watch.
And that's
Gary's
okay.
a customer, and he helps out at the store quite often. And he works. You know how you give seals the little fish. I give Gary comics, and he does.
I do. No shame either. No shame.
It's all good.
So our motto is keep it casual.
Oh, I do that.
Yes.
Because I don't. Vern says it all the time and stuff. So
Yep.
I love that. I think it's a great. Keep it casual, guys.
All right, guys. That's our interview for today. This was Chet Rinaudo from Rhinos Comics, and it was great. I'd like to come back and do some more with you at another time. Maybe we could do a store tour.
Yeah, we can do that. Whatever you want.
All right. Excellent. So, guys, for now, that's it for today. We'll get this up, and hope everyone had fun. I had a great time interviewing Chet. He's a great personality and someone I've come to call friend. And until next time, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and keep it casual.